Warehousing jobs are top choice for many international students seeking part-time work in Australia. Are you someone who is looking for these part-time warehouse jobs and want to know what are some of the requirements to work in these sort of job roles? What are the pay rates and how to actually get these jobs? Well, don't you worry, as we have got you sorted in this video, as we're going to discuss all these things in the next few minutes. So if you want to know all about warehousing jobs in Australia, make sure to stick around till the end. Let's get started with the first section. So warehousing in Australia is quite a decent sized employer. Many Australians, migrants and students work in different type of job roles in the warehousing industries. Some of the popular job roles include pickers, packers, forklift operators and supervisors. And these warehousing job roles span over different sectors like retail, manufacturing, e-commerce and logistics. So it's not necessarily that you might be only finding the jobs in manufacturing sector. There are plenty of other sectors which offer warehousing jobs in Australia. Now let's look at some of the job roles in this industry and their duties as well. So first one is picker. What is the job role of picker? As the name suggests, they're picking items. So if you are someone who's working as a picker, you will be responsible for selecting items for different orders. So customers might order different things and you have to go and pick some of these items to be sent later to the customers. The next popular job role is about packers, which, as you can expect, their job role is about packing the orders that will be sent to the customers. So depending upon the type of the customer order, you may have to pack it in one box or could be in multiple boxes as well. And last but not the least on our list is forklift operator. This person is responsible for driving forklift around, and usually with forklift you may have to carry different pallets and have to manage material movement from one part of the warehouse to the other. If you are working as a forklift operator, you will be responsible for taking orders and shipments and bringing them safely to the warehouse and other way around as well, especially when the shipments might be going out to the customers. Now let's look at some of the certifications or requirements to work in these warehouses. So first thing first, let's look at the equipment you might need in order to work in these job roles, because there are some risks involved when working in this sort of industry. In some of these job roles you must wear safety shoes which will protect your feet from any accidents. A lot of warehousing job roles will also require you to wear a safety vest, which is usually fluorescent, orange or pink color. And last but not the least, in some job roles you might even be required to wear a helmet as well, and gloves might be required when you are picking or packing your item. Apart from this, you might also be needed to have a forklift license. Especially if you are going to operate a forklift, you must have a license in Australia. It is usually a short course that can be done over a day or two, but you must have this forklift license in order to drive forklift. And you might also be required to have first aid certification for safety compliance as well. It may not be required for all job roles, but it might be required in some specific job roles itself. Now let's look at the pay rates for the warehousing job roles. So depending upon your level, the pay rates may differ, and we're just gonna give you averages, but it doesn't mean that this is a specific pay rate you will get. But these numbers will give you some ideas on how much money you can earn in these sort of job roles. The first category will be entry level job roles, which as per our research, it's around $28 per hour or more. And again, in those sort of job roles, you might be just picking or packing the item. Now, if you do a certification in forklift and you do end up becoming a forklift operator, then your hourly rate can be anywhere upwards of $32 per hour. And last but not the least, if you end up becoming a supervisor of the warehouse or of your shift, you could easily be earning more than $35 per hour for this sort of job role. Again, these are average numbers. You might be earning more or less depending upon your job role and your experience levels as well. Now, very important question that you might be having in your mind is how to find these job roles. Now, first typical way of finding any job role in Australia is usually going online. So there are plenty of useful websites like Seek, Indeed, Adzuna. You should be definitely doing your research on those websites. Most of the employers, when you will be sending your applications online, will be looking at your resume. So it's critical that that you put your previous warehouse work experience on your resume, or if you have worked in a similar sort of job roles in the past, as a lot of employers will be looking for people with a good skill set in this industry. Apart from that, I highly recommend you to build your network so that you can be referred to some of these job roles as well. You can build your network by attending some events organized by your school or university, or through your friends as well. And last but not the least, one of the other popular method of getting jobs in warehousing industries is to sign up via recruitment agencies. Many of these recruitment agencies have links in these industries, and they usually have jobs available in these industries as well. So I'm going to give you some popular recruitment agencies in Australia specifically for warehousing industry. So are you ready? Let's go. So here are the popular agencies: Randstad, Manpower, IPA, Programmed, Drake International, Labour Power, Omni Recruit, Chandler Personnel, and Labour Solutions Australia. So these are the popular recruitment agencies that you should definitely look forward to signing up for, and then looking jobs in the industry through them. Now, before we end this video, here are some important tips if you are going to work in this specific industry. First thing first, always make sure to follow the safety protocols. As I mentioned earlier, warehousing industry does have different machineries and you could be working with heavy loads. So make sure you follow the right procedures and safety protocols, because you don't want to get injured in these sort of job roles as well. So if you are expected to wear certain type of equipment, make sure you get a good equipment for that. Make sure you handle the items carefully. And if you are driving forklifts and so on, make sure to not take it as light, and always be careful in these sort of job roles. And not only for your own safety, but for the safety of others as well. Now, the good thing is that if you would like to progress your career to the next levels in this industry, there are prospects and chances for that as well. So it's important that you build a good relationship with your supervisors once you're working in these sort of job roles, as you could end up becoming a supervisor yourself as well, but you might need help or references from your previous supervisors. So it's always a good idea to build a good relationships with your supervisors. Now, as there are new automations and technologies coming up in warehousing industry, it's very important that you stay up to date with them as well. There might be some new courses that might come up that you should be definitely considering to do if you want to have a progress in this sort of a career. So try to stay updated for any new technologies and innovations coming in your industry, and see if there is an opportunity for professional development for yourself. And that will certainly help you for your long-term career growth as well. So embrace for continuous learning to grow in this specific industry. So this was a quick guide regarding warehousing jobs in Australia for international students. We covered various type of aspects, but if you are keen to work in hospitality job roles, then I highly suggest you to check this video that's appearing right over here. In this video, I talk about exactly the same things I discussed in this video, but for hospitality job roles. So make sure to check this video out, as we cover a lot of useful details over there, and I will see you over there.